Hello again, back for part 2, and I've got it up on the screen here instead of down in the book, but I remembered to put a mark here where we kind of left off in part 1. Again, we're going to go through this chapter in this book called The Covenants of the Gods, and I thought this was a pretty good, interesting research on the Mark of the Beast, and I wanted to share it with you, and I've posted links in the descriptions of the video. I'll do it for each one of these that I'm talking about the Mark of the Beast reading this book. So we left off talking about them have bowed their backs. So let me see. I'm going to try this, and if this doesn't work better, I'll go back to the book. But we'll see. I think I can, because I think I can highlight like that and make it a little bit easier to see where we are. So this goes on to say, we did touch on this proverb, so we'll do that again. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Proverbs 23, 1 through 3, I believe. May what appears to be an entitlement or a gift be but a bait. Entitlements beget entitlements. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter. And as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Proverbs 6, 4 through 6. Have we eaten deceitful meats? Have we slumbered in sloth? Have we been deceived? And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Revelation 13:14. This beast is able to deceive, to seduce, or to lead the people away from God's ways with a miraculous power, or by offering and giving a sign, mark, or token. Now let's go through these and see what deceive. 6, 7, 8. I'll scroll down here. 6, 7, 8. Strong's number 4105. Planao, from 4106, deceive, err, go astray, seduce, wander, be out of the way, stray, to lead astray, lead aside from the right way. Ooh. Okay. Not too much of a shock there. How about miraculous? 6, 7, 9. Strong's 4592. Semyon. Neuter of the presumed derivative of the base of 4591. A sign. Miracle, wonder, token. Sign, mark, token. That by which a person or thing is distinguished from others and is known. Now, wait a minute. Now think about that for a second. Here we see that miraculous has to do more with sign, than a miracle. What we generally think of as a miracle. It's actually something very mundane and everyday. What about, the power is 680. 680 is Strong's 1325 didomy, a prolonged form of a primary verb which is used as an altern in most of the tenses. Give, grant, put, show, deliver, make. To give something to someone, of one's own accord, to give one something, to his advantage, to bestow a gift, to grant, to give to one asking. What? See how translators can be traitors? When you read this beast is able to deceive, to seduce, or to lead the people away from God's ways with a miraculous power. And all this miraculous power is, because the deception isn't too hard to see, but the miraculous power, I think a lot of people are thinking that this is going to be some sort of, magic show that's going to awe people. And it's not. He's blessing, giving, handing off something that he has to others. And an attribute of that is it's a mark, a token, a sign. So I wonder, when you apply to the government for various entitlements like Social Security, unemployment benefits, any form of welfare. Here's one recently that really concerned me when I saw it, when I heard the discussion and then saw it, people, getting all excited about it. Did you receive, if you're an American, a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen with a Social Security number, taxpayer ID number, did you receive a few years ago a check from the United States government as a COVID relief? A bailout check. And a lot of people were bitching, moaning, complaining that wasn't enough. But how many people remember back to when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee? Was that a gift? Something given to you that marked you? Did you cash it? Or did you send it back and tell the government to go screw off? You don't want their handout. You don't want something that binds you to them, even though you're already bound. Do you see every one of these little details? Every one of these little things adds up. It's almost like a Gordian knot. This big knot that's just wrapped around you over and over and over again. And it's just impossible to untie. Now, you can untie it, but it's not easy. Now, legally it is. Legally, the paperwork part is easy. But this is the part that I try to warn people about. Everybody thinks it's the paperwork that is the magic. No. Remember, what does the mark of the beast indicate? Or the mark of God? What you think and what you do. Not what paperwork you have in your wallet. Not what paperwork, all the paperwork is just more legal fiction. Now, I'm not saying it's not important to make those declarations, but they can make you a liar. The paperwork that you file with the government saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to rescind my voter registration, I'm going to rescind my Social Security, I'm going to send back my birth certificate, I'm going to cancel all my licenses, all of that can make you a liar if you still go into the system and operate as one of its own. You're saying you're going to do this, but you're doing this. And that makes it, what's the Proverbs about it making it 10 times worse than before? You know, when you cast the evil spirits out, the one evil spirit out, and then you clean your house and you get it all in order, and then the spirit comes back because you're finding it difficult to stay out of the world. So now not just that one spirit comes back, but 12 others, and it's worse off than before. Or the Proverbs about a dog always returns to his vomit, and a washed pig always returns to wallowing in the mire. You see, these document things can be very, very dangerous for you. It's about what you do and think that's going to mark you as peculiar, salty, holy, set apart. Not pieces of legal paper that are legal fictions. You got to be very careful. That would be the last thing you do. You've already established living a kingdom life in the kingdom, keeping the laws of God, all of them, the economic laws, the health laws, all of them. The liability laws. You know, there's no insurance in the kingdom. You know, if you've got a policy of insurance, you're violating one of the laws of God, several laws of God. You got bank accounts, you're violating the laws of God, the economic laws of God. You got employment and commerce, you're violating the laws of God. Dealing in commerce, Canaanite trafficking, is not the way God wants you to do things. There's private business under his law, his economic laws, and then there's this public business in the stream of commerce. And they look similar in many ways, but they're very different. But people don't know how to do that. All they know is commerce. Hopefully we'll get there someday. We'll try. We'll get. I think I've touched on those topics before. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go on. This and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should doth both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of martyrs. This new beast is created in an image or a likeness of the old beast, like history repeating itself. An authority or jurisdiction that once was would control the lives of the inhabitants of the whole earth instead of God. I wonder what that form of law and jurisdiction is. And I wonder if it can be traced back to ancient Babylon. And the answer is absolutely. The civil law system that in our modern times we adopted from Rome traces its origins back to the Babylonian civil law, Hammurabi's Code. Hammurabi, or you can use the B or P, either one. This is what we call human law versus divine law. Human laws are born, live, and die. They change all the time. They're added to. God's law is static. We're not to add to it. We're not to take away from it. It's set. It's done. We just have to learn it how it was intentioned from the beginning, from the author, and then implement it. We don't get to change it. We don't have that authority. But with human law coming out of Babylon, it changes all the time with our whims. would it be by force or consent? Would this new power simply swallow up the world and the remnant, or would they compel compliance to their will? By what authority or condition shall they compel compliance? The word killed in verse 15 is not phoneo, meaning to slay or to murder, but apokteneo, to kill in any way whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish, to extinguish, abolish, as to deprive. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, a human resource in commerce, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. 2 Peter 2:3. How many people that are employed in commerce, especially, like here in the United States, I have to listen to all this foolishness on your news and the internet all the time. People blathering about, complaining about this and what the federal government is doing and what the state government is doing, and and they're not taking care of us, and my wages and inflation is blah, blah, blah. And their damnation slumbereth not. You're feeling the effects, the negative effects of the choices you've made. Wake up. You're running out of time. The real destroyers of the liberties of the people is he who spreads among them bounties, donations, and benefits. I believe that was Plutarch that said that. Let's see. We got to scroll down a little bit here. 684, Plutarch, yeah. Benefits, privileges, immunities, franchises, licenses, permits, pensions, protections. The real destroyers of the liberties of the people is he who spreads among them bounties, donations, and benefits. Now, what Plutarch is not making clear here, but it's implied, if you've got a brain and can think, is this benefactor who's destroying your liberties, is he forcing you to accept his benefits, donations, and bounties? Or is he just offering them? He's making you an offer. There's 4 requirements to a binding contract, and contract makes the law for the parties to the contract. I don't care about your constitutions. The Constitution even says, and your state constitution probably says it too, no state shall ... make any law impairing the obligations of contracts. Contracts is superior law to constitutions and even civil law. That's one of the keys to the kingdom, if you can understand that. But it's also the key to the jail cell that you find yourself in, because you don't understand the difference in these jurisdictional boundaries between God's law and human law. And human law has many types of civil law within it. Jurisdictions for just commerce. You get, it's just insane millions and millions of laws. Okay. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. What? Think about the mark of the beast now. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Remember, God's mark is what you think and do. The adversary, Satan, the satanic system, doesn't care what you think. It's an or proposition. Because most people are doing these things that are marking them, and they're thinking they love God, the Creator God. You see? But he's ensnared you. You've already taken the voluntary aspect of the mark of the beast. And like I tell people, just about everything, if you're looking for a document or something that is the mark of the beast, just open up your wallet or your purse. You have many little plastic cards in there, charagmas, Social Security card, credit cards, health insurance cards, driver's license. I mean, who knows how many things you have in your wallet. Do those things combined reveal for as he thinketh, I wonder. So his heart is, or his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. You see? When you start waking up to this, you're going to first, it's like Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief or something like that. You know, first you get angry. You know, I can't remember all of them. But they're very true. I mean, you're going to get angry and you're going to blame the system. What are you blaming the system for? Who do you think you were dealing with? The deceiver, the liar, the fallen angel, that bright morning star, that Hallel, this king of Babylon, this Lucifer, who was shining brightly but then fell because he elevated himself up and made himself a god, a mighty authority to rule over others. That's who you're dealing with, kids. And the problem is that's what you want to do too. You have that same spirit in you because you use this system to rule over your neighbors. Remember in the first link here of this little Mark of the Beast couple of videos, I was talking about public schools. You want the state, through legal plunder, to go steal from your elderly and disabled neighbors who can't afford it, single moms who are struggling, who are trying to get off welfare, that don't want to be that way, but they got to send their kids to school. And you're using the force of the state because you've contracted in, all of you, and the state is taking from people that they can't afford to pay these high taxes, but they're part of the system, so they have to. It's covetousness, that's stealing, and you're actually slowly killing a man, male and female. You're depriving them of their life. Remember, all your work requires your breathing and bleeding and and time. And when you take from someone else through the auspices of the state, through legalized civil law plunder, you are robbing them of their life, of their property, because you're coveting. And you don't think you steal. Oh boy. You see how much work we have to do? And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or, you know, the rest. But I want to come down here because I want to point this out to you. He uses the right hand. Now, in the ancient Hebrew, in the Proto-Sinaitic and pictographic Hebrew, Yahuwah, and in Hebrew it's written from right to left, not like in English left to right. So this is the Yod He Vav He. Yod is the right hand of God. The He is a man with his a man figure with his arms raised. The Wa or Vav is a tent peg, a stake, and then again the man. So this is at the right hand of God. Remember, God's creative power comes through his right hand. He created man. Man dies, man is resurrected. At the right hand of God is the Son who died for our sins and is resurrected. Your right hand is representative of your Creator because you were created in the image of God. He gave you this power in your right hand to create like he does. Now, we can't create like he does, but we have the attributes of creation. You know, you get busy with your wife. What do you create? Children. Awesome. You get busy with that right hand. You can look at what man has created on this earth. Just look around at everything we've created through the power of our right hand. The beast is laughing at you. He's mocking you. He's binding you up in that Gordian knot, and you're willingly going. Because that's all you've ever been taught. Even by these so-called churches. In their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So let's go through these. Let's see what we got here. Let's back up to this one. And he causeth, 685. Strong's poieo, apparently a prolonged form of an obsolete primary. Make, bring forth, commit, cause, work, show, bear, keep, fulfill, deal, perform. To make. Okay, so nothing there too drastic on causeth. It's pretty. To receive in their right hand or in their foreheads, and no man might buy. Let's see what this buy is. Agarazo, redeem, to be in the marketplace, to attend it, to do business there, buy or sell of idle people, to haunt the marketplace, lounge there. Okay. Does that sound like the stream of commerce to you? Are you in the stream of commerce as an employee? Are you in that marketplace? Do you do business there? Okay. This isn't all buying. This is where do you go? What system are you dependent upon now for your food, for your electricity, for your natural gas, for your trash pickup, for your gasoline in your car, for the mechanics to fix your car, for the doctors and nurses and hospitals and dentists and chiropractors and herbalists and grocery stores and what system is that? Is that the economic system of Yahuwah? Or this Canaanite Babylonian trafficking system? And the mark of the name. Let's see what this name is. 688. Anoma, from a presumed derivative. Name, named, called, surname, named, not translated. Name of proper names. The name is used for everything which the name covers, everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name. For one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds, persons reckoned up by a name, the cause or reason named on this account because he suffers as a Christian for this reason. In Hebrew, the name Shem is your character. Okay, so the one I found interesting here is covers everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name. Okay. Or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, so you can't buy or sell or trade without this. And again, the name thing goes back to kind of thinking what you're believing in. Right now, if I were to ask you, do you believe the only form of buying, selling, and trading is commerce? How many people do you think would say absolutely that's the only type of business there is? Even your garage sales are in commerce. Are you accepting Federal Reserve bank notes and checks? Commerce. Okay? The only thing you know is commerce. So what thoughts, what comes to mind when you hear about this system? This is the only system you know. Whoops, where did I go? Anomia. Then is used for everything which the name covers, everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by deeds, or by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name, for one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds, etc. If all you know is that system, the only thing, everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by the mentioning, hearing, remembering the name. The character of this thing, this system that you're in. You see, like I said, the mark of the beast is something that's always been here. It's just been voluntary. What's coming is the mandatory nature. Like I said before, because we're gonna leave it off here at the top of this right here. Well, we'll just go down this one more paragraph. This beast, or jurisdictional authority with only lamb's horns, was able to cause everyone to get this mark. That is to say, to get a badge of servitude. If they refused, they could neither buy nor sell anything which could include their labor. If they did not work for the beast and or his image of the beast, they would be excluded and persecuted even unto death. Not everyone works for the government, or do they? The news media announced on April 15th, a number of years ago, that the average worker works 3 hours a day for the government, or over 4 months out of every year. That would be serving the government or the ruling authority for 4 months out of every year. Since that time, with the inclusion of other taxes, that percentage has vastly increased. Yeah, well, think about what they call Tax Freedom Day. I think in America that is rapidly approaching June 1st. Of course, it fluctuates because the legislatures and Congress are changing tax laws all the time. But now think about this. In the Exodus story, when they first go into this bondage, like what you're in now, they apply to Pharaoh, and they have to agree to pay 1/5, 20% of everything that they earn to Pharaoh as a flat income tax, an excise, a tribute to Pharaoh for providing the stream of commerce, the stream of Egyptian commerce for them to operate in and get entitlements and benefits from, to feed themselves, right? To get their grain, to get whatever. So if we calculate on our modern Gregorian calendar, 1/5 of the year, 20% of the year, turns out that the ancient Israelites, when they first went into bondage to Egypt, had a tax freedom day of around March 20th, say, somewhere just past the middle of March, but not into April. So in other words, from January 1 to March 20th, every day they worked in that period, they were working for Pharaoh, for the Korban of Pharaoh, to finance that system of legal plunder that they had consented to be a part of. Today, and we call them, the Bible calls them slaves, when they're just bound to 20%. Now remember, God's taxing system, if we want to call it a taxing system, it's really not. We might go over that at some point in the future. Is only 10%. It's a tithe. So now this is double in Pharaoh for the Israelites. Their tax freedom day is around March 20th on our modern calendar, and they're called slaves. And today, your tax freedom day is sometime in May, and you think you're free. But you work for the state, the city, county, state, and federal government every day of your life from January 1 all the way into May, and it's approaching June, half of the year, half of your life every year. You work for the Korban of the United States. And you don't think that you already don't have that mark? The real important question is will you reject it and walk away from that system when it becomes mandatory? When you can't go into Walmart anymore, when your power and your natural gas gets shut off, when you can't go into Texaco and fill up your gas tank, when you can't go to the hospital or the local doctor's office or a clinic. You know, people talk about this thing, they have no idea what it really means and how it's really going to affect them. Like I said before, during COVID, when Walmart, certain stores like Walmart was one of them, there were others, they stopped accepting what we call cash, you know, Federal Reserve note, the paper money. Well, I don't have debit cards and credit cards, and I'm not entitled to have those things because I'm not in this system. So when Walmart stopped accepting cash as payment, what the hell am I? Only electronic payments. Why would I even go in Walmart? I'm essentially barred from going in there. because I don't have, unless somebody's saying, oh, willing to say, well, here, I'll take your cash and I'll just use my electronic form. Well, okay. That didn't happen, but, you know. You're not prepared for what's coming. And it's coming faster than you think. They've already started doing this for years, not just COVID. They've been doing this, pushing this on you, and you've been accepting it and rolling over because you're afraid of not getting your benefits. Let alone power to your house and natural gas to heat and cool your house and electricity to run everything. Wake up, kids. It's time to repent. All right, I'm going to end this one here. We'll put a mark there. Talk to you later. Bye.